This is Matt. This is one of our best customers there at the hotel.
Well, let me get my commercial in.
They get the commercial in. This is Matt. We just caught him in the street here. He's paying his bill, man. We're very loose at the hotel. He's been in and out for many years. That's his motorcycle over there. What about your deaf and dumb ladies?
I take her back.
Oh, he took it back.
Because my missus been looking for him all night. Now she found me.
Oh, is that Jim? Which one? The one with the glasses?
Yeah, the one in the green, the Irish one.
Oh, okay. The one with the glasses looking down here. Anyway, we want you to meet Matt. I made a list this morning. I was going to plan this better. I wanted to make this a very professional production, but unfortunately, I was tied up last night playing darts and eating pizza at Shakey's and getting in late. And I had to be here at 9. We didn't get up until 10 past 8.
The reason why is power didn't go off this morning.
That's right. The power didn't go off at 8 o'clock this morning like I expected it to. And that's because Ramos is here opening up the new Abercorn Bridge, which will show you a tape of the new bridge later on. But I got up this morning. When I did get up, in between, I sacrificed going to the bathroom so I could make this list. Going to see Taboon, where the village that was buried by the lahar. We'll look at the Abercorn Bridge, like I said before. We'll look at the friendship area, which has deteriorated from where... It would be nice if they had a couple of boats running parallel here or alternate routes, but they don't. This is it. And this is the way all the way to go to the farm. Here, they're building a new Belco substation. Whether that's going to improve the electrical problem or not, I don't know. But we hope so. Because my electricity at the Lulu went off about 5 times last night while we were trying to have a dart tournament. Fortunately, the generator I bought helped us out immensely. So this gives you an idea of the road conditions, and this is a good road. We'll be going up some that are a lot cheaper. So it's probably around 85. Okay. This is the town of Marvelaki. Now you get an idea of some of the traffic. There we have some of my neighbors over here. This is the way busy here is this is the exit. This also is where the people from the expressway, they exit, the last exit from the expressway comes up this way and turns right onto this road. So you always have a little bit of a traffic problem here. Again, it's one of those things of there's no overpasses, no lights, very little traffic control. There's one of our local policemen over here directing traffic. So that's another vehicle obstruction. These little bikes that get in the way. The three-wheelers. Jeepneys, see over here, they get on the road, they slow up traffic. Little bicycle with the carry on. Jeepneys stop anywhere. Drive in the Philippines, it's a combination of offensive and defensive driving. You have to force your way out into traffic in order to make turns. You have to be prepared to stop or to swerve out of the way at a moment's notice. Like this jeepney in front of me, he will stop without a signal, like he just did. He'll just go over there and stop anywhere. Bus stops. Now it's convenient when you're not driving yourself, because the jeepneys are a necessity. You can get anywhere in the Philippines on a jeepney. Just keep transferring from one to another, and the transportation is relatively cheap. In order to get from Angeles City all the way up to here, it would cost me, what, 2 peso, 50 centavo, which is about 10 cents, to get as far as we went just now. Which is probably, well, I know it is, cheaper than it would cost me gas-wise. But right here now is one of the last areas of green that you will see on this side. And now you see here, welcome poor man's golf course. Here they shoot golf on here. This is the beginning of where we were buried. Taboom, right here on the side. Now I'll drive a little slower to give you an idea. Mount Pinatubo victims. This is it. Right here now, you'll see nothing but gray. It looks like desert landscape or moon landscape. Looks like World War II destruction. This far down, we had not even reached where I would normally turn off to go to my fish ponds. And over here is where we're coming up to where the Japanese War Memorial was. Bob, no, the Japanese War Memorial was put here because right over here to the right is where the kamikaze planes, attack planes, originated. Right here in Dolores Marbalakit is where the kamikazes first took off for their suicide attacks. And there was a memorial over here. Our Lady of Sorrows Parish. We'll take more pictures on when we come back from the farm. And this is going to be the new Japanese memorial, I guess. This is the landing base of kamikaze Air Force planes during World War II, an original kamikaze birthplace in the Philippines. So this is a very historical site, and there used to be a very nice memorial here. But as you can see, it was buried. The lahar went up that high. What we're driving on now, underneath is the highway. You can see how high the lahar came. These are the rooftops here. Right along here are the rooftops. The lahar. There's houses underneath here. This is how high it is. Now you can imagine how high that is. That building right over there was an elementary school. That was a school. It is completely buried up to its rooftops. Nothing left. And this is why I say that I am concerned about my house in Marbalakit. This is only 5 minutes away. The next town next rainy season that could be affected is Dolores, which is the one where that golf course was that I showed you. If it gets through Marbalakit town, then the next area would be my place. I don't think it will get that far, but you just don't know. Nature is very unpredictable. This is where the river used to be, Bambam River, approach to a bridge. But as you can see, everything is level. Now those houses over there, they're not really houses, those are shanties. Those are all evacuees. All this mass that you see in front of you used to be a town. This was the first area to be devastated by Mount Pinatubo. Every house along here, on both sides of what used to be a river going through, were completely buried. And the people were evacuated to the hilltop over there. That's an evacuation center. And there, the kids, there's always kids along here, grown-ups, children, babies, always begging for money, trying to get money from people as they pass through. This is where the people that are staying in my house in Marbalakit, the Espinos, they used to live here at the Espino quarry. But now, this is all that's left of the river that used to go be on this side are gone, completely gone. Now this is, don't mind the video jumping because as you can tell, this is a bumpy road. This is where my brakes get wet. Now over here used to be a town. Right down this way All these houses here, and my brakes are shot. So I have to go a bit slow anyway. Now what you are seeing are the shacks that were put out from the town of Bambam. Over on this side, houses, you can see there were houses and everything here. All gone. Complete devastation in this area. This is a new school that they built because the old one was destroyed, buried. So this is the new Bambam school, a nice building. Did a nice job on this. Now we are back on the highway. This is the way it used to be all the way here. Now the river, because of the lahar, was diverted to where it was coming down over here, to the right. Now the town of Bambam is sort of surrounded. We had this devastation here in this area where the water comes through on this side, and then you also have lahar on the other side. So what's left of the town is sort of caught in the middle. Now we're on the way to the farm. Used to be a two-lane highway. As you can see, it's one lane now. This is where the river was diverted, came down here. And when I tried to drive by before, I came down here and it was like the current coming down here in the rainy season. It looked like you could take a raft and go in one of those white water raft cruises. It was that strong. And of course the road has collapsed. So it makes it a bit difficult to come this way now. And it makes it a bit difficult to come this way, especially in the rainy season. And I don't know what they're going to do to repair this road, because when the next rainy season comes, there's a strong possibility that the rest of this road will be destroyed. But I have not seen any plans for repairing this. So I don't know what to expect. Okay, Jim, this is only a little bit before the entrance to where the farm is. You can see the damage to the road here on both sides. Makes me a little nervous when I drive down it, especially at the height of the rainy season. And this is the entrance to the farm, so you can see there isn't much good road left before the end of, I get to my, that the government has paved this road. Remember, it used to be a dirt road. Well, they paved all this. And they also built a very good, strong bridge. Remember before, it was just a wooden bridge, and one time I even donated a few boards to put down myself so vehicles can get over, because it got damaged so badly. Now they built a very good bridge here. Unfortunately, the highway is getting so messed up. In the rainy season, I can't even get here. I don't know how long that situation will last. Now it's a bit of an overcast day today, which is bad and which is good. I would have liked to have seen the beauty of the place in the sunshine, but it's good because Vina won't complain about the heat, and she won't have to wear a hat. Remember that today is December 22nd. And here we are enjoying the nice, comfortable weather of the tropics. You see, they paved the road all the way up now. Now here, we're coming to some places that were built. These are people that have moved this way, evacuee site. These are lahar victims. These are, most of the people, they came from where being a Bambam. Bambam town. And they're resettling in this area. So out over this, I feel a little bit sad because I remember what it used to be like. This was something that was trials and tribulations for many years for Vina and I. Some successes, some failures, and more success, and then failure again. Right over there, beyond the wall, it would go down very deep, and that's where we had our 6 fish ponds. Altogether, there must have been about 30 fish ponds in this area. And we drove down this way. Now, all that you see is lahar. That is all level, nearly as high as the wall, where before it was as deep as if you looked at the top of that, about halfway up that hill over there and down. We had our fish ponds there 1 year. They were destroyed by flood. After much thought, recriminations, we rebuilt them. And we were just getting ready. In August would have been a big fish harvest where we would have recouped, I should say, our money and made a profit. Instead, on June 15th, the water came, the lahar and the volcano erupted in the lahar, and the mud came down and destroyed everything in sight. And as you see, everything is level down there where it wasn't before. And that is the main path of the lahar every rainy season as it comes down and buried Tabun and eventually may bury Dolores, which is further down. Now where we just drove up, some genius thinks is going to stop the flow of the lahar from going further. This is the base. We're standing on the base now. And they built this dirt dike to try and keep the lahar from going further down this way. When the rainy season comes, I doubt very seriously whether it will work or not. I think it will just wipe out that dike and go further down and inundate Dolores Township. We put a lot of work, time, money, effort, aggravation, memories, fighting with the Philippine Air Force and fighting with the caretaker, coming out here at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning for harvest of fish, little joy of having a good harvest, disappointment at having a bad harvest, and then nearly having a very lucrative harvest in August wiped out from us. And therefore, when we come here, we feel kind of sad. Here is where the fish ponds were. I was just a little bit off. There's the entrance, the old entrance, back entrance to the base where the wall was. Right there. There used to be an entrance there, and we used to drive along here and then around this way, right here, and then we used to cut a course. We used to go downhill and then down into our fish ponds. And then if you continued around the wall where the dike is going along, if you continued along there, way over there where the wall is the water treatment plant on base. Now where that wall is, there used to be a deep decline, a big hill that went down to the fish ponds. Now the lahar has come down here and everything is nearly level to the wall. Where before you had a very, well, it was like being up here now and going down. That's how it was before. So now, instead of going down like this, it's nearly level. our fish ponds were over there, and there was about 30 of them. Completely leveled, flat, destroyed, no more. So now there's steam that's coming up out of the volcano itself. And this is what happens a lot in the rainy season. Anytime it rains, it'll get down there and mix with that pyroclastic material, which is extremely hot, and the steam will start coming up. And now you're getting a little bit of a reaction over there, which shows you that Mount Pinatubo is still with us. And then in the rainy season, when it rains a lot, that'll get in there, and then it will cause ash to come up again, and we get another ash fall. Real bloody annoying. But it's a constant reminder. Still there. Just give you a quick shot of this area so we don't run out of tape. This will give you an idea of the devastation that went through. This is still Taboon, and we've shown you quite a bit of Taboon already, where the houses were destroyed and how they were buried. Now these, as you can see, were utterly destroyed. A lot of them right up to the rooftops and everything. Now what they've done, they've come back and they've cannibalized what they can. And they've taken the roofs off, and they've taken everything out of the houses that they can salvage and tried to build someplace else, in an evacuation center or wherever. Many of them, you can't see it here, but many of them are buried right up to the rooftops, and you couldn't really do much of anything like that. But this is what can happen even further down in Dolores, where an area looks like pictures you've seen of World War II and the bombing. That's it. Right here, this is now called, this is the Friendship area. This is where the Friendship Bridge was. This, Jimmy, is where the toll booth used to be, where they collected tolls to go across the bridge. The road originally went this way. This portion of the bridge just collapsed. It's gone. It's history. And then that portion over there, that's still, what you see over there, that part of the original bridge is still there. And from there, it used to come around this way. Now what they've done is you now go this way. They filled this in with dirt and everything. They didn't rebuild the bridge. All they did was move earth here, packed it down, and made it so you can go across the bridge. So they didn't rebuild it at all. All they did was move dirt in and pack it down. So now you can pick up the bridge right over there. Over here, on the side, there used to be a big car service place, a nice new building that was only there about a year. That all fell into the river. It all collapsed. We'll go onto the bridge here a little bit. Here on the Friendship Bridge, now looking down towards Angeles City. This here is what they're trying to do, what they call these dikes, where they put rocks. It's supposed to be Japanese constructed, tell them how to do this to try and stop the lahar flow from coming down, or not to particularly stop it, but to slow it down. And they did have the wall going across there. So after they built it, of course, the first lahar, that came down, just went right through the wall anyway. Just kept going. Now this is they've sort of isolated this where the lahar stays in this particular middle part, which is good because if you look over here, the riverbank is high, like old rocks, that white stuff and everything that's over there, and all those big boulders and rocks along this bank over here. There used to be houses, and there was a big swimming pool over there, but this was all washed away. It was just eroded where houses toppled into the river. So like this was not here before. Even out this way, further out, used to be a big car care center. That's all gone. That's gone. All this is new. A along here, this riverbank, all the way down, just been eroded and houses fell in. Unfortunately, it stopped just there. It was just the portions of Villa Sol, a subdivision, were wiped out. We think that this part of town now will no longer suffer any further damage. We hope not. But just in case, that back portion of Villa Sol anyway has been demolished. Nobody lives there anymore except a few people. You keep going down this way, you'll pass. You come to the Abercorn Bridge. We'll try and get a shot of that today. That collapsed also. Matter of fact, it collapsed about a half an hour after Vina and I, or 20 minutes after Vina and I went across the bridge. And that was June 15th. And only now, today, December 22nd, has the bridge been opened again. They've rebuilt it bigger and better. And it's taken them a year and, let's see, what is that, June, July, August, November, a year and a half to reopen the bridge at the Abercorn. And with that, they say that it opened about 8 months ahead of time. That's your friendship area, ghost town. L2 subdivision in the back of Villa Sol. All along here, because we haven't filmed coming in, but all along here, in the back over here, houses. Used to be very nice in here. Now the river is right over in this direction here. And there were some houses that were in the back of this that have collapsed into the river. Now all these houses are being torn down, cannibalized, and nearly this whole subdivision has been torn down. There's only a few houses left in the back here and a few on the other side. But it's like one whole subdivision. It looks like somebody just came in and dropped a bomb and just destroyed everything. And that's the result of Mount Pinatubo, because so many houses collapsed and the roofs collapsed and they were just uninhabitable anymore. So the people just came in and salvaged what they could.
Dito sa Florida, may babaeng mana. Pero siya ay nagkasakit. Look at this. Ano? Look, sir. Sir, look at this.
This is all that's left.
This is the new Abercorn Bridge, 4-lane bridge that they just completed last week. Just opened up last week with President Ramos coming down for the dedication ceremonies. And if you remember, the old bridge used to be just a two-lane bridge with a lot of traffic congestion. Now finally, at last, after a year and a half after Mount Pinatubo, we now have the bridge built and transportation is easy between Balibago and Angeles City. It should help the city a great deal and help with the growth of the city. Also now, possibly they'll be able to put the telephone lines across, and maybe I'll be able to get a telephone pretty soon. But this gives you an idea of how the new bridge looks. And it's kind of exciting to us here. It's nothing compared to what they have in the States, but to us here, this was a great achievement. It was finished about 8 months ahead of time, and it's going to help the city a great deal.